Yeah, David, YouTube. So as I'm editing this video now with my recap, I just want to apologize formally because we had a day yesterday. I had a lot of rum punch. I was off the rave for sure. And so I know that I probably don't seem like my usual self because I was not. So I just want to apologize formally, but at the same time, I'm not about to re-record this video. Yeah, I'm just not. My apologies. I hope the information is still good. I know I forgot to talk in details about the CMS, because we had our CMS this session, but I'm gonna make a whole nother video just talking about what the CMS is because I get asked a lot about that. So I feel like I wanna make a dedicated video just for that. But yeah, I hope you still enjoyed the video and I will see you guys in my next. Yeah, David YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is my recap of the previous session I just had. I took Adult Health 1, which is Med Surg, and I took Nutrition. For me, this session was the most difficult for sure of all of the sessions I've had. And I'm sure as time goes on, it's just going to be more and more difficult. Let's talk about nutrition first, since it was the easier class. Each week, weeks 1 through 8, I had a discussion post that was due. You have to post the first post by Wednesday and the second post by the following Sunday. So you had 3 days to post the first post, which would be Sunday through Wednesday. And then to post the second post, which would be either a reply to a student or a reply to your teacher. 4 days to reply, more or less. With nutrition, there was nothing super great about it that I can even talk about. We talked about things that you would expect. Carbohydrates, what is a protein, what is a fat, triglycerides, or how much calories these things have. But it's no reason you shouldn't pass a class with an A+. Now the post would be like, talk about a case study in which a patient has diabetes, type 2 or type 1, or they'll have cholecystitis, which is gallbladder disease, gallstones in their gallbladder and stuff like that. The other big thing is for the RUA project, which is the project you have with every term. The project in this term is a group project, so it is a little bit difficult in terms of scheduling everybody's schedule to match up. Hard when you have a group project to make sure that everybody is on the same page and stuff like that. So with this project, we were definitely entitled to have a group leader. And so our group leader, she was super great. So for the class, it was literally just 8 discussion posts and then 3 exams. Exam 1, exam 2 in the final. So 3 exams and then the group project. That's it for the adult health part. My apologies for the sun doing the most in the background per usual. The subjects that we focused on for this 8 weeks were fluid and electrolytes imbalance, which honestly, fluid and electrolytes have followed us from day 1 until now. And it's something that can be a really easy question for you to gain on an exam where they ask you like, the patient has a sodium of 120 and a potassium of 3.9. Which of the two are you going to alert the physician is abnormal? It will be the sodium, right? And that question will be something that is not in your core topics that you are studying at the time, but it's important for you to know. So moving along, yeah, fluid and electrolyte imbalance. They both have acid-base imbalance. So acid-base is more like respiratory acidosis or your metabolic acidosis. So that's what basically that is. Then you have your respiratory system alterations. So that can be COPD, asthma. Then you have your cardiovascular system alterations. So cardiovascular disease can be left-sided heart failure, right-sided heart failures. Then we had hematologic symptom disorders. So with hematologic symptom disorders are blood disorders like hemophilia, you have anemia. Then we had gastrointestinal system disorders. So that could be Crohn's disease, different inflammatory bowel disorders. So Crohn's disease or diverticulitis or diverticulosis basically. And then of course we had immune system disorders, which would be like lupus, systemic lupus erythematosus, and then we will have Raynaud's disease, HIV and AIDS. And then lastly, we covered musculoskeletal disorders, which would be, say if you broke your arm, you broke your leg, or whatever the case is, you have a cast that you have to put on, or you have skeletal traction or anything you have to put on to stabilize your joint. That's the last section we covered. So for this section, if you have already been attending Chamberlain from the beginning, so you've had health assessment 1, health assessment 2, if you've had all those until now, it's really everything you've already learned. You know, some people like group projects because it makes less work for them. If everybody's pulling their own weight, then it's good, but if it's not, then it's like, that's the biggest thing about group projects that kind of sucks, is that everybody doesn't have the same work ethic as you. So for me, I want to get the best grade I can achieve possible, but with the least amount of work inputted, if that makes sense. So if me doing extra assignments is going to get me to the same grade, I'm not going to do it. And so some people are overachievers, which I honestly would call myself an overachiever on a regular basis, but when it comes to group projects, no way, no how. Our RUA in adult health was also a group assignment, but it was a lot simpler than nutrition. So for adult health, we were assigned a disorder. So we had a blood disorder, which was, we had anemia. And so we had to discuss with our group members how we're gonna talk about anemia more or less and create a PowerPoint, just like with nutrition, but it was a lot simpler, so it wasn't too much of a headache. I'm glad it's done now. Exam 1 was pretty okay for me. It was not too bad. Exam 2 was the worst of all 3 exams. The final was the easiest for sure. So if you're coming to the end of the session and you feel like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna pass, like, don't do that, because you are going to pass and you're gonna do great. Pay attention in class because it'll be the easiest way for you to be able to connect different ideas. I had a great professor for this session. I had her for clinical or lab or something like that. I think it was health assessment, but whatever class I had her for, I learned so much. It had to be health assessment because it's because of her I passed that class, because she would say certain things in lab that I was like, wow, we never learned that. Like, wow, like, this is awesome. Like, she would just teach us things, and she's very knowledgeable. She knows what she's talking about, and even though she knows what she's talking about, she's very good at explaining it, because you have certain people who, they know what they're talking about, but they can't explain it. You know, you have some people who are teachers who cannot teach. Yeah, no, she can teach. And so for nutrition, I had a good professor as well. She was very respondent. She responded to my messages within under 48 hours, like 12 hours, 10 hours. With the nutrition class in general, you don't have to be in a Canvas WebEx classroom from any certain times, from like 1 to 4 or whatever. You don't have to do that. For nutrition, it's anytime you're available. It's almost like a gen ed class. So if you have any more questions, definitely just hit me up and I'll give you the tea. But that is my recap for this session. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any more detailed questions, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what your questions are, and I will keep you updated as we move forward through this session. And I am excited to be more than halfway done now with my program. Once I'm done, you know, I'll have a BSN, RN. I'll be RN BSN. I'm super excited. My name is MelisaMarie. I am attending Chamberlain and Atlanta campus. Enjoy your free time, okay? Look more.